Previously on Game Nights. How did you guys get down there? My goodness, what are you two doing down there in that there pit?
You mind helping us out here, there, fella?
I don't know. You look mighty comfortable down in that there pit.
Please get us out. It's gross. with the strength of his deity behind him, Cal powers up the rope, and now you're all back in the hallway where you started. So the hallway ends. There are 3 doors total. The hallway terminates in a door, and then there are 2 doors on the left side. So you're gonna see if you can lure the goblins out
into the hall.
The pit.
I see.
You can try to push them in the pit. I don't know if that would really save us.
Bold. I like that.
Okay.
That could be bold. Make it sound like there's someone stuck in the pit.
Yeah. Oh man, the other goblins we killed. This may be the best plan we've ever had.
Yeah. Then we push them in.
This is so Scooby-Doo.
The 4 of you, having forgotten that when you entered the cave, the goblins came from behind you. Dell, you notice they come through a little hidey hole on the other side of the pit. So they come through. You see 2 goblins, one with a scimitar, one with a short bow. Look down in the pit, see nothing's there, and immediately are on alert.
Oh, geez.
So,
well, that went well.
So, now we know where the hidey hole is.
We gotta fight him. Let's go.
No, they're gone. They went back into the hidey hole.
Let's go chase him.
You reach the end where you find a door on the right.
All right, then I turn around and I say, I think we should just bust in there. Best case scenario, there's no one in there.
Hell yeah.
Worst case scenario, we surprise them.
Bam, I love it. Yeah, so I bring up my leg to go to kick the door open, and then I kind of hesitate for a second. I just go, So I just kind of reach down and just turn the knob and just kind of swing the door open. Greetings, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Game Nights. Tonight's story, The Warden, Chapter 6.
So you see, you enter this room that seems to be like a dining hall sort of area, right? So there's the fire that Dan heard is on the far wall. It's like pretty big. It's like a big sort of, I don't know if fireplace is the right word, but there's a large fire and like a cutout with a chimney, and there's like cooking pots and stuff over that. You see a really long table that has been flipped on its side to face you, sort of diagonal across the room.
That's not good.
And then that is about all. That's what you've taken in when the door closes behind you, and the two goblins with scimitars like swing at your backs.
Our backs.
So you all
honorable.
Well, they're goblins. So I'd say let's see, actually. Cal, you are going to take some damage. One of the goblins behind you hit you with his scimitar. Yep. And that's going to be 4 damage.
Okay.
And y'all should roll for initiative. Oh, sorry. Important details. So the two goblins with arrows pop up behind the table.
Yep.
Right.
So they're in cover, so you'll have disadvantage on like attacks against them because they're behind the table.
And how many were behind us? Another 2?
So there are 2 goblins behind you, 2 goblins behind the table. It seems to be the goblins that Dan saw through his X-ray thing.
Good job. First of all, Dan, you're not very good at hearing things through doors. I'm just putting. Look, we all.
They're being quiet.
No one's perfect, but I rolled a 12.
15.
All right. 12.
20.
All right. So, remember those numbers.
Mhm.
So, Mal rolled a 17. Oh, cow. Let's see.
There's a pen everywhere.
What were Dan and Sean? What did you roll?
12.
15.
12 and 15. So we got. All right. I dropped it.
Well, while he's putting that together, Dan, you seem like a guy who understands statistics well.
Yeah.
Do you think
maybe.
you're going to have better outcomes if you roll a 1d12 or a 2d6?
Better outcomes?
Yeah.
On average?
Yeah.
A 1d12.
Okay.
Oh, or a 2d6.
Yeah.
No, I think it should be the same.
Okay. All right. I was just wondering. I don't know shit, so I said Dan's a smart guy. He numbers good.
That's not true at all. But if you think about it,
It should be an equal outcome.
they're equally likely for all 6 of the numbers on both of the d6s. Right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. No, that's good. All right. Anyway.
Well,
Sorry
no,
for
that's
this.
not. Wait, that's totally not true because it would be impossible to roll a 1 with the 2d6s.
That's true.
So you would be as a result more likely to get a higher roll with
1/12 the better.
2d6.
All right.
Actually, this is dumb. I don't remember what Mal's hit points are, and I don't have my sheet in front of me.
Well, it's because he's a level 4, right?
I've heard
Yeah.
that one.
Well, it's 4d10 hit dice, so you can roll a fresh hit points
Well-
if you really don't know. Oh, you know what?
I mean, I think it's 20 something, right? I put it in the chat
No,
somewhere.
I don't have your sheet.
I'm just gonna guess
Okay.
if it's not on my desktop right here. It's not. So I'm gonna say it's 25. All right. So we're ready to do battle. So
Oh yeah.
in order, I'm gonna trust you all to keep track of your hit points. And I'll keep track of the goblins and Mal. So in order, we have Cal, Mal, the first goblin with the scimitar, the first goblin archer behind the table, Del, Art, and then the second goblin with the scimitar and the second archer behind the table.
Easy to remember.
Indeed. So Cal, you're up first.
Yep. I am ready to hit these guys hard. You know what the first thing I'm going to do there, Colby?
I don't.
Dungeon Master Colby? The first thing I'm going to do is I am going to cast a spell. It's called Tasha's Hideous Laughter.
Classic.
All right. What Tasha's Hideous Laughter does is a creature of your choice within range perceives everything as hilariously funny and falls into fits of laughter if the spell affects them. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or fall prone, becoming incapacitated and unable to stand up for the duration of battle. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You ready?
So are you casting Tasha's Hideous Laughter on
It does
a
say
particular creature?
a creature with an intelligence score of 4 or less isn't affected. So,
Yeah, so this would affect the goblins.
okay. So that means that all right, I'm going to attack the goblin that attacked me with the scimitar.
Okay. So I'll say that's goblin with the scimitar 1.
Yep, and he has to roll a wisdom saving throw. He has to succeed on wisdom saving throw. So I guess that means 15 or better.
Okay, he does not succeed.
Nice.
So Goblin 1 struck it with Matt's spell and unable to overcome the magic, sees Mal, this halfling, in his sort of ridiculous cowboy hat that he got in Shaker Heights, and just topples over, cracking up. So Goblin 1 is on the ground, laughing his ass off, much to the chagrin of his comrades. And so, is that a thing? Oh, I see. So at the end of its turn, he continues. At the end of each of his turns, he continues to do a saving throw.
Yeah, at the end of each turn, each time it takes damage, the target can make another Wisdom saving throw. Target has advantage on the saving throw if it's triggered by damage.
I see.
26 times the spell ends. Yep.
All right. Cool. So it's Mal's turn. I think Mal is going to try to move and get away from the goblins with the scimitars. So he's going to go over to the far corner of the room. The corner that's straight ahead from the door you guys came in. And then he's going to try and take a shot at the goblin, one of the first goblin archer behind the table. And he has disadvantage because he's behind the table, and he doesn't succeed. So now we're to Scimitar Goblin 1, who is incapacitated, but he'll get to do a saving throw. He does not succeed. So we're on to Goblin Archer 2, who is going to take a shot at Dell.
What?
And he definitely doesn't succeed either. So now we're on to Dell. It's your turn.
Sick. There are still two goblins behind the table.
Mm-hmm.
And the table is made out of wood.
Correct.
Is the fire between me and the table?
So the fire is like on the edge of the room, but the one end of the table is like in the middle. Like, it's not in the fire, but it's like. So if the room's a big square, let me see if I can draw a quick diagram for you.
Okay.
I'm excited to see this diagram.
Now, what's the scale on this diagram? Is it like 1 centimeter is 100 feet? Look at that! Wow, they're well fortified. Look at that. This is people. You gotta go watch the video version on YouTube because you won't get this anywhere else.
Yeah, we're moving up in quality here. We got diagrams now.
Oh yeah.
So in any case, the table is quite close to the fire, but it's not like in the fire, and the fire is in like an inset in the wall kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna look something up real quick. Snaring strike.
And striking snare.
Okay, what I wanted to do, I really want to light this table on fire. I really want to light it on fire.
That sounds satisfying.
The only way I could think of doing this, though, is to take my rope and my adventurer's pack and like throw it in such a way that one end is in the fire and the rest of it is next to the table, because I can't do the thing I want to, which is light an arrow on fire. At that point, I'd be right next to the fire. I might as well I might as well just do it that way.
I see.
So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take up my adventuring rope, and I'm just going to try to. There's a lot of it, so I'm just going to try to throw it in that little nook between where the fire is and where the table is.
Okay. Want to roll dexterity for me?
I sure as all hell do. Ugh, 13.
13. So I think you throw it and you succeed. You get one end in the fire. One end of the rope goes in the fire. The other end of the rope lands like sort of up against the table, and the rope starts to burn.
Okay. Phew. All right. Is that my turn?
I think so, probably, unless you want to move or something. But
I guess I'll move into the corner of your drawing, the upper left-hand corner,
okay,
giving me hopefully the best angle at these goblins behind the thing.
cool. So Art, we're on to you.
All right. Now, quick point of order. Point of order. The dude who's busting a gut, laughing on the ground, but at this point, doing it for so long, we're really uncomfortable about it. I would say.
Yes.
Be like, there's something really wrong with that guy. If I were to attack him, do I get some kind of special advantage because he's on the ground rolling around laughing?
No, you don't get advantage, but he gets advantage on his
Saving throw.
So if you damage him, he'd get advantage on the saving throw
Gotcha.
to stop rolling around laughing on the ground.
Okay, that makes sense. I am going to attack the other scimitar guy who is not on the ground, who is
Cool.
behind us. And I am going to pick up my great sword, and I am going to thrust it in the direction of this fine gentleman. And let's go to the dice cam 4000 and great sword. Bam. 25.
Well,
Wait, that can't be right. Why do I even fucking bother with this goddamn app?
It seems like there's some bugs with the
Well,
dice
no,
cam
they
4000.
automatically compute all your various scores, but like the math makes no sense and you cannot change it. So instead, I'm just going to do this, which is, all right, I probably should have gone with the other one because I rolled a 2, so a 2 plus is a 6.
How about
No, I'll take the 6. Look,
Me.
I'm not going with I'll take the 6. I rolled the 2, so that's on me.
Okay, I mean, if it's a 6, like you don't hit the goblin, like you thrust at him and he kind of like shimmies out of the way, and is unharmed.
Okay.
So speaking of goblin with a scimitar too, it's his turn and he's gonna go for you, Art, because you just tried to stab him.
Yeah, we're kind of going at it 1-to-1 here. I like it.
Yeah. So he rolls a 16.
A 16? Well, that is a tie.
A tie. What happens in a tie?
I forget.
Does the defender win a tie? I feel like he does.
I think so.
I'll go to the tiebreaker.
Okay. So
Flip a coin.
Sean Art is undamaged. We're on to the second goblin archer, who is also going to take a pot shot at Art, seeing him going after his pal there, and he rolls a 14.
That is a miss.
All right, so his arrow misses wide right, clatters against the wall, and we are back to Cal.
Okay. I'm not going to get too fancy here. I think I'm just going to take up my old crossbow and shoot some fools with it.
Shoot some fools.
I think that's what I'm going to do.
It's fool season.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to take my crossbow, take aim at just whatever. Can I see the diagram again? I should see the diagram.
You're gonna regret making this diagram, Colby.
The diagram?
If you will please refer to the diagram.
Yeah, I like this.
Right.
Okay.
So you are pretty close to where the "you are here" arrow is.
Thank you for clearing that up.
Well, so Del and Mal have moved, right? Del and Mal are now up here.
Colby, I have a question. Out of band, do you use sticky notes?
Uh, I use sticky notes for D&D.
Oh, okay. That's why you have sticky notes.
Yeah, that's the only reason I have sticky notes.
Can you please amend the record to reflect where Dan and Sean exactly are standing?
Sure,
please?
you got it.
All right, thank you. While you do that, I'm going to roll an 18 is what I rolled.
An 18 against who?
Whatever goblin is closest to me. One of them that's behind the table, preferably.
Oh, so if it's behind the table, you have to roll again because you have disadvantage.
No, all right. Whatever one's closest to me, then.
I see. So that'd be goblin with a scimitar too.
Okay. Yep, that's what
not the laughing one.
Nope.
So what do you do for damage?
So I got an 18. So that's I got to roll a 1d8.
What are you attacking with, by the way?
My crossbow.
Cool.
My crossbow. 1d8 damage. There's my d8. Whoa. I only rolled a 2.
2 damage?
Yep, just 2 damage.
You don't have any piercing or modifiers or anything?
No. I have proficiency with the crossbow.
No, but like some of the weapons have a particular like damage modifier.
No, it's just it's 1d8 piercing.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay, so goblin with a scimitar 2 takes 2 damage.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So we're on to Mal. Mal's gonna try and crossbow one of the table goblins again.
Table goblins.
Hashtag table goblins. So he rolled a 19, and then a 16. So he's gonna get him. Let's see. Nice. So Mal kills Goblin Archer 1 behind the table. So Goblin Archer 1 peeks his head up, and Mal puts a crossbow bolt right in his eye.
Hey.
Nice.
Comes out the back of his head. He falls to the ground dead immediately. So we're on Scimitar Goblin 1, who is still laughing hysterically. And he rolls an 11, which I don't think is good enough to succeed on that wisdom saving throw. So he continues to laugh hysterically. Dale, it's your turn.
How's that table looking?
Good, excellent question. So the rope has like burned to the table, and there seems to have been something sort of flammable on the table because one corner has like lit up. So the corner of the table closest to the fireplace seems to be on fire independently of the rope.
Cool. And there are 2 scimitar goblins left still?
Mm-hmm.
One of which is laughing?
Correct.
Okay, I'm going to try to longbow the laughing one. Do I get advantage on that?
No, he will get advantage on his wisdom saving throw, though. If you damage him, I guess.
Oh. Maybe I don't want to do that. I'll shoot the other one then.
The goblin, the undisabled goblin with a scimitar?
Undisabled scimitar goblin.
Cool.
Nice. Unnatural 20.
Well, you certainly hit him.
Cool. 7 damage.
With 7 damage, I think he's going to die.
Nice.
Do you wish to describe his death?
I would absolutely like to. So, he was attacking someone, right?
Goblin with a scimitar 2 was going after Art. Yeah.
Yeah. Art?
Arthur?
Me. Arthur. Artie.
Oh, sorry. I forgot.
Artie of the party.
I forgot your name, Art. Yeah, so he's sort of trying to go to town on Art over there who had a tragic miss with his sword attack, and then as he's like rearing up for another go, that's when it sticks him right through the throat, like boop, pops right out, and then he collapses down on the ground, and Art is safe to fight another day.
All right, Scimitar Goblin 2 is dead. So we have enemies left include the Laughing Goblin, who is still incapacitated, and the second Goblin Archer, who is still behind the table. And Art, it is your turn. Right.
Okay.
The burning table.
Now, how far? So obviously, Matt and I are still over by the door. How far is the table from where we're standing in feet, roughly?
I would say 30 feet.
Okay, that my idea is not going to work. So what I will do instead is someone's going to do it eventually, so I'm going to take my greatsword and attack the laughing guy on the ground. Mm-hmm. I take my greatsword above my head and I say very dramatically, "Well, looks like this joke is on you." And then I hit him with the sword, and I triumphantly swing and hit him with a 12.
If by triumphantly swing and hit him you mean you swing and miss. I see
the marketing content technique that you used there, Sean. That was good.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll try and save my better catchphrases for when I actually hit. I should roll first.
Looks like this guy's had the last laugh.
Oh, see, that's a good one. I'll use that on the next one. Thank you. You can submit your jokes to GameNightsTV@gmail.com.
In any case, our your clever DM sees through Sean's marketing ruse. Sean misses by just a hair. It was really close, but his greatsword clangs to the floor instead of clanging through the goblin. Art, while we're with you, could you roll a perception check for me?
I can. I don't know if I want to, but I certainly will give it a shot for you. Here we go. It is a 15.
A 15.
Finally, I roll something reasonable.
Good.
So, after you miss your possibly a little embarrassing miss of the incapacitated goblin on the floor, you hear through the door, like back down the hallway you came from, you hear what sounds like a door open and then close quite loudly. And we're on to Goblin Archer.
Oh, well, hang on, because I can take an action additionally on my turn, right? I get an attack and an action.
Sure.
All right, so I reach behind me, I slam the door shut, and I take my elbow and I bang it so that the door handle comes off. I break the door handle, so hypothetically I would assume maybe it still works, but I would assume it doesn't come in. I don't know if I have to do a strength check to...
Yeah, I'll allow that.
Okay, all right. So I've locked us into this room with a table that's slowly on fire and two goblins who want to kill us. You're welcome.
Yes. So Goblin Archer 1, seeing the burning table, moves sort of farther down to the other end of the table that is not on fire. The fire is making him kind of uncomfortable. In general, he's feeling pretty uncomfortable because he's the only conscious one of his comrades left. So Goblin Archer 1 is gonna take a shot at Art, and he's gonna miss totally, probably because he's so freaked out. He's starting to panic. But Cal, we're on to your turn.
Okay. Remind me again who is still alive in this battle here?
So still alive, we have the second. So one Goblin Archer and the Laughing Goblin who's on the floor.
Okay. And the guard. Let me see that tablet there.
I drew a little diagram.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, very informative. Yes, very informative indeed. I'm going to assume that the archer is behind the table, correct?
That's correct.
So if I wanted to cast a spell at him, I want to use Eldritch Blast to hit him.
Okay.
Does that the table factor in for that spell?
So what do you roll something to see if Eldritch Blast hits?
It's a one. Let me see. Make a ranged spell attack against the target. On a hit, the target takes 1d10 force damage.
Mm.
So I assume it's just like a regular roll, just like if you were attacking with a weapon.
Like dexterity. Okay.
Like, yeah, basically, or not even like a just a regular armor roll. I think.
Oh yeah, I see. Okay, yeah. So why don't you roll a ranged attack?
Yeah. I'll roll my d20. Oh crap.
Yeah, but would he still be at disadvantage because the?
I think so. I think so. Yeah. So I guess you'd roll it twice.
Okay. Shit. Huh. Okay. Well, the first time I rolled a 5, which I guess is actually just a 5. No, charisma governs my. So it's a 7. So I rolled a 7 and 3. So I guess you take the 3, and neither of them hit.
Yeah. They don't hit, but the blast hits the table. And so seeing the blast coming, the goblin like ducks behind the table, but it hits the table and like bumps the table back. So it hits the goblin in the head. So he'll take 1 damage.
Cool.
Even though you
nice.
do super well.
Why did it break the table? Just out of curiosity. This must be a damn strong table here.
It's a pretty hefty table. Maybe if you had rolled better, like maybe if you had better control over your magical abilities, you could break tables. But I think you got some work to do in the meantime.
It's still a spagic Mel there, Colby.
Yeah.
You should have prayed harder to the old one.
Right. So as you're sort of recovering from the spell you just cast, Cal, you hear on the door behind you, which Sean has sort of like broken. You hear someone like sort of try and open it, and like I don't know if they sort of try and open the door, assuming it's going to open, and it doesn't open, so they like hit their head against the
very slapsticky goblins.
Right.
Yeah,
and you hear some muffled scolding going on. Someone is yelling and is displeased. But in any case, we're on to Mao, who. So the archer is like laying down behind the table. So I don't think he can see him. So instead, Mal is going to move try and get around the table to get back there so he can shoot him and / be in a cover position in case whoever is banging on the door here gets through. So Mal's going to have to roll a small dexterity check just to see if he can sort of get through the fire on that side of the table without hurting himself. And I think he does. So Mal winds up on the other side of the table in view, in non-disadvantage view of the last goblin archer. So we're on to the laughing goblin. He rolls a 14. He almost got out. He was close. But he is still laughing. And we're on to you, Del.
Sweet. I'm going to try to shoot the goblin that is behind the burning table.
Okay.
Is he still in cover from where I'm positioned?
From where you're positioned, yeah.
All right, that's fine. Here we go. How's that table looking?
So the table, I think, is half engulfed in flames now.
Nice. I rolled what would be a 20 and a 24.
Oh, well, you certainly hit the goblin.
Yeah. 12 damage.
12 damage. So that goblin is totally dead. Feel free to elaborate.
Nice. the arrow passes through the burning part of the table, on fire, hits him, light his clothes on fire. He sort of, runs around for a little bit, and then, boop.
I like it. Cool. So, Goblin Archer is dead. So we'll be on to we're about to be on to Art's turn. But at that moment, as Art is about to do whatever he's about to do, the door behind you crashes open, and in storms a bugbear with a sort of like crippled looking goblin strapped to his chest. So this goblin has what seems to be an injured arm. He's holding like a scimitar in one arm, and his legs look pretty messed up.
Is he riding this thing like a battle mech or something?
Well, no, he's sort of in like a baby harness. Like, when parents have their child like in the thing in front of them, and so the child's facing forwards, and he's strapped on like that. So he's strapped onto this bugbear, and this bugbear roars quite loudly, but he has like a plate on his head, sort of like stapled in or like nailed to his head.
Oh my god!
So
Frankenstein bugbear.
Right, they seem quite a ferocious pair. So the bugbear has a big like club thing. This little goblin has a scimitar, and they're like in the fray now. So they'll be last in our initiative order, being last to the fight. But Art, it is your turn.
Okay. I am done messing around.
No more Mr. Nice.
No
Art.
more Mr. Nice Guy. So
Do these two this pair, do they happen to fit within a 15-foot cone?
Oh, you know it.
Pour one out for what's his name?
Well, and that's funny, Dan, because you borrowed a bit of my thunder there, because that's exactly what I'm going to do. So, those folks in the 15-foot cone, they're going to get toasted with my breath weapon. And it's not halitosis. No, it is flame. And so the characters, Colby, must make I don't know if they each have to do it, but a dexterity saving throw.
I think just the bugbear is going to do it, because the little guy really doesn't have any motor control at this point.
Fair enough.
All right. So the bugbear rolls a 10 for dexterity.
Ooh, just barely doesn't make it.
Doesn't make it.
Does not make it. No, that is a failed save.
See.
That's a 2d6 damage. 6 plus 1, so that's 7 fire damage.
All right. So 7 fire damage each.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, just seven fire damage. You said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
again, I don't know how we're delineating between these two characters.
Sure. That's on me. So the bugbear and his rider are engulfed in flames.
Green flames. Yes.
Right.
Green flame.
Totally engulfed. Bugbears are kind of hairy creatures, so like his
Very
hair
flammable.
just goes up. The goblin strapped to his chest screeches as he is totally burned to a crisp and dies on the spot.
This is amazing.
So
this is the best day of my life.
this poor goblin is dead before you ever had a chance to talk to him.
Poor guy.
And
It sounds like he would have been really fun to talk to.
Oh man, sounds like we missed
Now-
out.
No, we never do
Now-
talk to any of these characters. We usually just try
No.
to kill them. Maybe they're really nice.
Who was advocating for that earlier, Mr. Art? So I have a question though. Do I think from this, what I've observed here, that the goblin was controlling the bugbear somehow, like more directly than simply telling it what to do?
no, I don't think so. So in a moment of seemingly impossible insight, you know that the bugbear and the goblin had sort of a symbiotic relationship.
Sure.
So the bugbear being a smidge brain damage from the whatever wound he incurred to get the metal plate in his head, like isn't super sharp nowadays. But he and the crippled goblin had a nice you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours kind of relationship, where the bugbear was the muscle, the smaller goblin was the brains of the operation, and they operate as they worked as a pair. However, the brains are dead, so you are left with a singed and angry bugbear.
That isn't very smart.
Well,
Nope.
So,
Excellent.
I
That's
would
what I like
like
to hear.
to use my action surge to get an additional action,
Okay.
and I would like to use it to shove my greatsword directly into this bugbear because I'm done screwing around. And in that case, I roll an 24.
Ooh.
You certainly hit the bugbear.
And I do +4. I do 13 damage.
13 damage.
You heard me right.
That's quite a bit of
No
damage.
mistake about it.
Sean is
Any
not around here.
would you like to qualify how you
Oh
do
God,
said
yes!
damage?
Thank you, Colby. What a friendly reminder. So I take my great sword in my hands and I go to shove it in, and I shout very dramatically, "Looks like you're about to grin and bear it!" And I shove it through the goblin on the front of
dear.
him into his stomach, and then I pull it out, and it's covered in both goblin and bugbear juice.
Gross.
And some of his
Gross.
guts fall out. It's pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think some of his guts definitely do fall out.
Not like the
there's
super important ones, but like, you know.
just some. He's got some danglers. Gross. So it is now the bugbear's turn, who is hurting. He's mad. He's sad. He's having a lot of feelings all at once. And he's coming
not
for
very-
you,
He
Art.
doesn't have a lot of emotional intelligence, I think it's safe to say, too.
Bring it on.
Indeed. So he swings his giant club thing, his morning star, at you, and so he rolls a 17.
Oh, just barely hits me.
Okay. And so that does. So that only, lucky you, that only does 6 damage.
Oh, boy.
So he sort of like nicks you maybe more than anything, but it does hurt. This thing has like spikes on it, and they're through your armor and into your dragony flesh. So you take 6 damage, and then it is Cal's turn.
Okay. How far away from the bugbear am I?
You're quite close to the bugbear.
Okay. In that
The bugbear
case,
could easily hit you with his clubby thing if he so desired.
Sure. In that case, I'm going to cast. Oh, you know what? No, I'm going to attack the bugbear. I'm going to attack the bugbear with Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
And I rolled a 6.
Now, how are you using the book in this? Is the book is the Eldritch Blast being emitted from the book? Do you have to talk to it every time?
I don't know.
What's the deal here?
Is the book my source of power? I was under the impression that I had like a
I think you get to decide that.
magical tool.
I'm just saying
I
the
think
book
that's
seems
the
to
book.
be pretty important to you.
The way I've interpreted it is that the book has given me special powers, but I
So
need.
it's not like you have the book out with you at all times.
No, I'm not like reading from the book. And here's like I think the source of my power. It says it's an arcane focus, which I chose to be a crystal, which I like to think is like a crystal that is like hanging around my neck, and I like pull it out So what happened was when I found the book, there was a special like insert in the book that this crystal was like a part of, and the old one instructed me to grab the crystal and pull it out of the book, and that's where I can cast the spells from.
I see. Okay, that makes sense.
On my spare time, though, once in a while, if I want to get real crazy, I'll take the book out and just read a couple pages of it, and like time will be completely lost. Like a day could go by, and I'll have thought it was like 10 seconds, but like I get engrossed in the knowledge of the old one.
Don't we all?
Elusive and arcane knowledge that is well beyond my comprehension. But regardless, I carry out the old one's wishes. So right now, I think he wants me to kick some bare ass right now. Well, actually, he really doesn't because I already rolled. So and I missed.
Right.
And everything is the will of the old one. So
indeed, yeah, your blast goes wide. It hits the door behind the bugbear, which is already kind of mangled from having a bugbear come through it. It is now like completely destroyed. It like burst into splinters. And it's Mal's turn. So I think Mal's going to do the obvious thing and take a shot at this bugbear. And he gets a 15, which is not good enough. Unfortunately, he shoots an arrow, but it is deflected by the bugbear's armor. So we're on to the Laughing Goblin, who is still alive, still kicking, and still, well, literally kicking because he is laughing so hard. He rolls a 2 for his wisdom saving throw.
Nice.
So he's still laughing. And Del, it's your turn.
Sweet. I'm gonna. How much of the table is on fire at this point?
Oh, I think we're at this point 3/4 of the table is on fire.
Nice. How could I push this table, or is it too heavy?
You could push it. Yeah, you could totally move it. You couldn't like throw it or something like that.
Sure. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to move to the side of the table that is not on fire.
Okay.
And I am going to just start shoving it towards the door and the bugbear, and shout, "Get out of the way!" and hope these fools make a good dexterity saving throw.
What?
Okay. So you're gonna go to the non-fire. So just to be clear, the so the part of the table I colored in is the fired part, right?
Yeah.
So the fire extends down from the fireplace to the end. So you want to go from here.
I'm in the upper left-hand corner. Yeah.
Right, from here over around the table and push this way.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I want to do.
Okay. So I think you can definitely run over to that corner of the table. Could you roll a strength check for me?
I sure can. 6. So you
do manage to move the table a little bit, but like only a couple of feet. I feel like that wasn't quite the effect that you were going for.
No.
Indeed. Would you mind rolling a perception check for me?
16.
16. So you notice one thing you notice before you run out of the corner you were in before is that there's like sort of another hidey hole thing that you hadn't seen before.
Jesus.
And there seems to be some like weird like blood red mist coming out of it. Like not a lot, but just like wisps of it. You never quite seen anything quite like it. It seems kind of weird, maybe a little magical. But in any case, that is happening. So
just no big deal.